Evening. Thanks for coming out. It is with excitement, and I'm extremely thrilled to welcome the new additions to the team: Spencer, Dorian, Mikal, and Cam. So we have been on these guys, watching them for quite some time, dating all the way back to to their college days and so forth, and to be able to bring in guys with this type of character, this type of competitiveness, and the versatile nature that all three will bring to this team, and we welcome them to our Nets family, and I think they're going to really thrive under JV's system and with the current group that we have. So I'm excited. I know the group is excited about getting together and getting these guys out there.
Sean, why did you trade Kevin Durant?
Sorry.
How difficult was it to trade Kevin Durant?
Yeah, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's always difficult when you're trading a player of that stature and that ilk. Very difficult. My job as a GM and our job as a front office is to try and bring in that caliber of talent and so forth. So those decisions are not easy. They come with a lot of thought, a lot of process, a lot of systematic debriefs and discussions that go along with that. But at the same time, to be able to move Kevin to a place where he will have success and they will enter into their championship window, and for us, to bring back, these two players in that particular trade and the draft assets, that gives us a clear pathway now to continue to rebuild and maybe not set the reset button, so to speak, because we have a group in there that's very competitive and want to get out there and want to compete at the highest level. But this has given us a clear pathway on how to continue this.
Sean, do you deem the KD Kyrie era a failure?
I think it would be easy to look in from the outside, and honestly, I look at it from internally and say, "Wow, it didn't work." Like let's be honest there. We did not reach the full potential of where we thought we could get to, our hopes and honestly beliefs. But again, I look back, and we've done a lot of thinking, soul searching on this, and we say, well, we did everything we possibly could, to maximize this organization's potential, to have ourselves in the conversation for a championship, and that's all we've done, and we've shown that we've built this team up twice. I don't need to go back to what it was, but built it up twice and and have a team that I think we could look back and say, hey, look, they have a chance. They have a chance. So it didn't work. Some of that is through things we can control, some through things that we can't control. But at the end of the day, again, now we're focused on this pathway right now, and for us to look back and say, what if, what could? I mean, we're certainly going to debrief and go back on like we have done, to be quite frank, over the last couple of years on when we have misses, because we all do.
When you do and you look inward, and you search and you do whatever soul searching you guys have done as an organization, the fact is it's three superstars, not good players, but three superstars that wanted out in less than 12 months. Was there a commonality in there that you guys found in your soul searching?
Yeah, look, I think some of these things are, if you go back and you look at what's happened to the entire world, and I'm not in the business of making excuses, but you look at what, we've all been through over 3 years, right? There's been ins and outs through our daily life, with COVID and everything else. I mean, we've had, a pulled hamstring, we've had a rolled ankle, we've had a lot of frustration here with not being able to get that group, on the court consistently and seeing what it really looks like. And I mean, I think that's one of the biggest frustrations, where we really didn't see them and what they could look like. I don't want to speak for the guys that are no longer here and why they left. I mean, that was sort of their decisions as to like, hey, it's time to move on and so forth. And in the case of Kevin and myself with Joe and Rich, it's a partnership, and we've sat here, ever since the summertime, thinking, what does this look like for us over the course of the next week, the next month? What's the league landscape look like? How's this team being built, and everything else? And this gives, again, like I said, this gives Kevin an opportunity to go and continue on that quest for a championship, in Phoenix as their window opens up.
Sean, were you aware of his intentions or his mindset when you were making that first trade about Kyrie with Dallas?
No, these are discussions that, between Kevin, myself, Joe, Rich. Again, it's been a great partnership, all the way along here throughout Kevin's tenure here. So they've been great to us, and these are ongoing discussions, often a lot behind closed doors, but they're honest discussions. We don't always agree on everything. That's not what it's always about. But at the same time, we felt that this was the right time, and Kevin agreed too.
Sean, you were able to convince him to stay this summer when he initially wanted to leave. I mean, did you try to convince him to stay this time?
I think there's a limit, right? You can certainly try and convince guys, and you put your best foot forward, and you say, look, here's what the roster looks like. Here's what we're trying to do. But at the end of the day, I think this works out for all parties included.
Sean, does this experience change the way you look at building a championship contender in the NBA?
Yeah, great question. I think we have this front office and this organization, and honestly, with Joe and Clara, that have shown the ability to put full resources behind, making, Brooklyn a championship contender, and that's exactly what the goal is going to be moving forward here. So, will we go about building it a little bit different way? Yeah, because the last time I took over, I didn't have any picks. So, that's true. So it definitely looks different. What we're starting with right now looks different. But again, I don't want to say this is not a total retool. I mean, we have guys in that room that I'm extremely proud of, and they're going to compete. I look forward to seeing them on the floor. So, the additions that we, who have made to the team over this last week, I cannot tell you how ecstatic I am getting them.
Speaking of those additions, what have those early conversations been like with Mikal and Cam, and what areas of their game have stood out to you?
Yeah, well, watching them, over the course of their careers, just the versatility, their improvement, they've continued to make jumps every single year in different areas, different facets of their game. I mean, we've talked about, internally about how great a defender Mikal is. I mean, he guards multiple positions out there. We love his versatility. I think he's really underrated, and I look forward to him, just watching him kind of explode here, to be brutally honest. And then Cam, we've watched him all through college again, and you see the size and the versatility of what he can do, the shooting, the percentages, his ability to stretch the floor, the length, and so forth. I mean, this is how the modern NBA is being built. So, along with, obviously Spencer and Dorian. I mean, we know Spencer extremely well. So the size of of Spencer at a point guard position, his speed, his ability to touch the paint, he knows the lay of the land here. There's something to be said for that. And then Dorian is one of the premier defenders in the league, who is also able to extend it. So, for us to be able to have, 4 players like that with that type of versatility that are wanted around the league, and we've been following these guys for quite some time. To be able to add those guys, to this group, we're really thrilled about.
Sean, what's your message to the fan who re-upped on season tickets last year, thinking that this would be a championship contender this year?
Yeah, look, that's honestly tough. But my goal here, and our goal is from ownership all the way down, is to put something out on the floor that everybody can be proud of. You can see consistent effort, you can see availability, and you can see a competitive spirit. Everybody playing a great brand of basketball. So I think, with this group of young men, you will certainly see that, and as they grow and as they get some sort of continuity with each other, and also playing under JV's style. I think it's a perfect fit, and I think we've all seen what JV's been able to do, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
Is the expectation that this team makes the playoffs?
Yeah.
Sean, I forgot my question.
Sean, I guess,
I'll-
in that same
I'll
vein-
pick
in
up
that
one
same-
here
in
if
that
you
same
don't.
vein, sort of what do you feel like you have to earn the trust of the fans back after what's happened the last couple of years with the way things have gone?
Yeah, look, I don't think we've ever taken anything for granted. I mean, I've talked to hundreds of fans, here, on a game by game basis, and I don't take that for granted. I mean, we've got an incredible opportunity here to do something in this borough, and that hasn't left me from, the minute I wanted to come here and be a part of something, build something here in Brooklyn. Nothing's changed. I think we certainly owe it to these fans. I mean, on a daily basis, I think that's the way we approach this, is put something out there that, the fans can be proud of, and find young men that this borough can really get behind and do something special in Brooklyn. There's going to be nothing like that.
Sean, a lot of the guys were surprised about Kyrie's trade request. I mean, were you among that group, or did you have a feeling if the negotiations, extension talks claimed out, that was on the table?
Yeah, look, I don't think anything has surprised me now. Just being in the NBA. I mean, things change on a daily basis. But again, it is our job to sort of know the lay of the land here. And when a request like that does come in, it's us to have, go back and have done our due diligence and know, whether it's what the asking price is or where we want to go, and also just have good communication with that particular player, with Kyrie.
Sean, was Kevin's desire to leave based solely on Kyrie leaving, or was it something else? And why did you decide to do it now in this window instead of, not trying to keep him long term, but at least trying to make this trade in the summer?
Yeah, look, I don't think I don't want to speak for Kevin, for one. I don't think that wouldn't be right for me to explain, why he's asked out, or if that was anything to do with Kyrie, right? I mean, that's completely on him to sort of answer and to sort of factor in, and he'll get his opportunity to answer that. I think more importantly is to realize what Kevin did for this franchise and to thank him. And, I mean, without a doubt, he'll be missed, and I mean, we'll feel his presence, in here, because what he brought to whether it was the locker room or the practice facility, that work ethic and that competitive spirit, I've never seen anything like it. So, I mean, I think that's contagious. I mean, it'll linger here with many of our guys for sure for a long time.
Sean, on a personal level, are you sad? Are you mad? Are you bitter? Are you disappointed? Are you all the above?
That's a great question. I think I went from I'll be honest, last night I was sad. I mean, I think you do everything you possibly can in order to put together, a team that you can be proud of and say, hey, we can be in that championship conversation, and for the last couple of years, we have been a team that you could have said, hey, look, if things go right, health, whatever it may be, the team gels, consistency, continuity on the court, they have a chance to win a championship, purely from talent. There's an excitement about, how we go about building this, in the future and with what we have, and there's an excitement about seeing how, Jacques is going to coach these new guys. So there's a lot of emotions that, that are running through. I think a lot of people's heads, if I'm going to be brutally honest.
Sean, you talk about what Kevin brought to the franchise. I mean, what are your feelings about what Kyrie brought to the franchise?
Look, without a doubt, his talent is supreme. I mean, there's no question. I don't think anyone here is going to question his basketball talent. And, to watch two guys like, Kyrie and Kevin on a daily basis go out there and hone their skills and, see how they prepare for games. Like I mentioned before, that's probably something I really haven't seen before. So, there's certainly a respect level there. And again, I wish nothing but the best for both of them, their families, and so forth. And they're taking their talents elsewhere, and like all the other basketball fans out there, to watch them, and we'll be watching from afar. But our focus now is on the guys in that locker room.
You talk about reading the landscape and having to basically be able to see what's coming down the pike.
Yeah.
That's part of your job.
Yeah.
When we hear Kyrie saying that he wasn't sure about staying here after year one and was plotting his escape from that point on, was that a sense that you got in whatever your conversations were with him?
I don't want to speak for Kyrie and how he was thinking the whole way through here. I think when, you get to a point like we are now and it didn't work, we did not, we weren't the last team standing, like you've heard me say. I think it's easy to reflect and go back and say, well, this, that, or the other, and so forth, and whether it's point fingers or what have you. I think we have to internally look at, hey, did we do everything we could have done? Could we have done more? Sure, but I think that's on everybody. That's on the individual, that's on the team, that's on the organization. So, again, I don't want to speak for Kyrie, and I wish nothing but he and his family all the best.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys.